Welcome to another episode of The Profile. I'm Gary Dunn, and in the hot seat, is that comfy, that tune?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. It's Mr. Al Kash. How are you, Al?
Great, thanks.
Great to see you. You've come all the way from USA to see us. Thank you so much. Where were you born?
I was born in Manhattan.
Yep. And 1964, at age 15, you came to Australia.
That's right.
Yep. Why Perth?
A friend of my mother's cousin was living here, and she read about or heard a TV thing about made a TV show, and the guy bought a bunch of property down south, and then found her cousin and wrote him a letter and asked what was going on, and we migrated here.
Cool. Yeah. Excellent. And what instruments do you play?
I started on bass, and then I ended up going to an audition with George Janecki, a local, one of my first friends in Perth. And the drum chair was vacant because the drummer was the girlfriend of the singer, and they split up. So I sat down and started playing some stuff, which I'd never done. I thought I'd rather play drums than bass, and I ended up buying that drum set,
So you were self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your first band, the Nerks, in 1965.
Yeah.
Who was in that band, Al?
Well, I can't remember. I remember George Janecki. It was kind of like an instrumental band. Your first kind of garage band type setup.
I don't believe George was that old.
Right.
Hey, George. So, 1967, the Down Home Band.
Group.
Yeah. I've got band. Sorry.
Yeah.
Who was in that? Because you played a gig for 60 and a half hours.
Yeah.
What?
Dave Skews, keyboard player.
Yep.
Dennis James, Colin Atkins, Brian Burton was in it. He's long gone.
Yeah.
Myself. Chris Maris was the singer. We were early blues, early Rolling Stones blues stuff. Beach House was one of the gigs that we used to always play. Dorina's Discotheque, which is where we did the 60 and a half hours.
Wow. So why did you do 60 and a half hours? Non-stop, was it? Or?
Well, it went by the Guinness Book of Records, 5 minutes per hour, accumulative or whatever. Yep. And Stark Raving Mad did it, I don't know, 3 or 6 months before us. They played for 52 hours. And so we knew those guys and used to play at Dorina's, so we said, let's try and break their record.
And you did?
Yeah.
Are you still on the Guinness Book of Records for that?
I don't know. It was an Australian record.
Yep.
There's probably, every continent probably has a band that's silly,
That's silly. So in 1968, you joined Current Bun. Yep. With Dennis James, Phil Pruitti, Colin Atkinson, and Terry Adderton. Yeah. Good old Terry, we've had him on the show. So what was that band like? What did you play?
It was just great. Especially the time, like the crowds and the venues and everything. But the repertoire that we did, Terry was also a really good Bee Gees singer. But we did Status Quo and any Yardbirds, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Very fun band.
Because Dennis, he's in America, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still at the moment. Do you catch up with him or see him?
Oh yeah. I Current Bun, Colin and Terry visited us in this past September, and we did a gig.
Oh wow. Cool.
It was really good.
That must have been after we interviewed Phil, I reckon. Was it? Yeah. Last year. Yeah. So in 1969, you joined Great Pumpkin Mutiny. We got Mutant. I'll just get that Y there. With Pete Devlin.
Yeah.
Pete just passed away, didn't he?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, rather sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out of the blue,
Yeah. In 1969, you moved to Melbourne. You recorded with Clarion Records with Will Taylor.
Well, that was, did that in Perth and then moved to Melbourne.
Okay.
And I can't remember who was on that session, but
that's all right.
I know it got airplay, and Clarion, was good, fun experience.
Yeah. Because you moved to Sydney and joined Blackfeather. And
right.
That was a bop in the blues. I think they had a couple of singles and.
Yeah, we were. This was the first album with Seasons of Change.
Yeah. And so, how long did that last for? Huh?
I was here for like must have been a year to 2 years. Yeah. We recorded the album and then toured a bit and played Melbourne and Sydney and out in the bush somewhere in New South Wales, and a lot of great gigs, especially during that period. You know?
So a couple of years, then you come back to Perth in 1971. You joined Saab.
Yep.
Who was in that lineup of Saab? Can you remember that? Or?
I think it was all the Clyde, Brendan, Greg Schultz, I think maybe. Phil Pruitt, and I think Bob Fortescue. He was in Sydney also, so I think we both ended up being in the band at the same time.
Did Bob play in Blackfeather as well? Like yeah, I thought so. So you spent 6 months in London.
Yep.
You're going everywhere.
I actually had a rehearsal with Dave Hall in London back then.
Oh, wow.
And there was plans, but I forget what happened. It was, trying to travel around the world with a drum set. I don't even know if I had one there and then had to sell it.
So you came back to Perth after that and joined Fatty Lumpkin. I think that's where I first saw you play. As a young guy. Who was in that lineup of Fatty Lumpkin?
The original Lumpkin was me, Roy Daniel, John Meyer, and John Worrell.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And at one stage after that, for a brief period, Lindsay Wells was in the band. Yeah. And then that was, we had a sort of residency at Uncle Sam's in Subiaco. Yeah. And then I think we might have had a break or something, and then it became the Lumpkin that ended up recording. Yeah. Because Don't Knock My Boogie, 74, I think you recorded that, wasn't it? Right.
And you supported Rolling Stones at the Wacker.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as well. I think I jumped the fence for that one. 1976, then you moved back to the USA.
Yeah.
So why? Was it like calling or coming home, or?
There was a few things. My grandparents were still alive, and it was just one of those. I wanted to pursue jazz. Yeah.
How did you go with that?
Well, I got to see a lot of it.
Love it.
But yeah, I did a bit of traveling and a lot of playing.
Yeah.
And that period back then, it was like these boom periods, like even in Perth, it was like the late 60s was great, and then it kind of died out a bit, and then 80s came in and kicked it up again.
Yep. You remember the pubs in the 80s were massive, but you also did a demo with the Police's sound guy in 1981,
Yeah.
Yeah. You supported the Police. Was that like on a tour through US or?
No, we used to play at different venues in New York or Boston or whatever, and we were tied up with Copeland's, the illegal records, IRS records, and so we were able to. We did a demo with the sound man from the Police, and then did an album, and opened up for a bunch of people, which was great, and the Police was one of them.
Yeah. So then you came back to Perth again.
Yep.
And you play with the old Royston McDaniels and formed Spoonbenders.
Yeah.
Who was in that band?
Dave Rose.
Yeah.
Danny Sussinger.
All right, Danny.
Yeah. And
great guitar player.
Me and Roy. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. And he worked at Gobbles, the old Gobbles with old Jimmy Rossiter.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of what year that was, but we did. I ended up doing, I think, maybe 13 months.
Yeah. I did 9 years.
Wow.
Anyway. I think it was probably, Jim was probably there from 86-ish, 85.
Okay.
83, was it? As early as that, because he had a few. Yeah. In 1986, you joined Innocent Bystanders.
Right.
And I think I got a album here from Brett Keyser, and yeah, so we know who was in that band. It was yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
John Houstonstam. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Johnny Dalzell. Do you remember that? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Great album.
Yeah, it was a fun band.
Yep. In 1988, you toured with Matt Taylor and Chain.
Yep.
Yeah, we had Matt in here a while ago. And
okay.
Yeah, he came and did an interview. And how was that?
It was great. Roy and John Meyer.
Yep.
I got to see the Northwest
of WA.
Which was, not that I didn't ever want to go to the Northwest, but I know I'm one of I think we were playing at a mine, and on the way there we realized we didn't have enough gas to get to the next stop, whatever. We had to not cancel the gig, but move it forward, because and we did have jerry cans, but it was still not enough to get to the next gas hub.
Yeah.
And
so far away.
Yeah.
Such a long distance.
Yeah.
You moved back to the USA. So what did Royston do to you to make you do that again? So you're still playing today in 3 or 4 bands in the USA. So what's it like to play there? Is it different to here? Is it?
It's all, it's very similar, I suppose. You got good gigs that you can do, but it's just generally kind of died. I play in 3 or 4 bands, and I'm still not busy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same there. Like here, there's no money for any of us. We just play for enjoyment. Is it the same sort of thing?
Well, it's seasonal over there. Like right now, it's kind of busy.
Yeah.
And you just do as much as you can. Come December, it's going to be snowing, which is a pain.
Yeah.
But
is that like a busy season, like it is here in December, or?
You end up getting a bunch of parties and private work.
Yeah.
But like I said about the pub scene or your local gig scene, it's just been diminishing year by year. Rather sad. There's the good venues that, if you have a show that you want to really promote well and it's something special.
Yeah.
They're there for you, and you can do well.
Yeah, but they're sort of one-offs. Same here.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same. So I remember, I think it was Des Joes you were on the Daily News, Kings Park Tower. Can you tell us about that? Because I think you used to take your drums up the top of there and.
Yeah, I think at that point, Des Joes might have had some input into that, trying to get some publicity for us. So he said, because previously I had a promo shot done when I used to practice in Kings Park, but on the ground, not in the tower. And so anyways, he made a phone call or two, and I don't even remember. I just remember being up there playing and being filmed. And oddly enough, I met my brother's daughter, who was a policewoman here back a while back. And she saw the video, and then she said she had to go there and do a thing because someone jumped off the tower.
Oh, okay.
And so it was kind of a bit of a bizarre connection, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So, who have you toured with in the USA?
I did with the Dave Hole connection. Obviously,
right.
I did that with Roy and Bob Patience.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did a bunch of different countries, Australia, Tasmania, and South America, America, Europe. Then I did Savoy Brown, Kim Simmons, Savoy Brown, and toured with him a bit, which was great. And then Ellen McElwain, great Canadian slide player, really phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I don't see her doing much these days, but I did some stuff with her. Yeah, I mean, that was during the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who are your earliest influence been by a musician or a band? Who influenced?
Yeah, I suppose like the first records I bought were Thelonious Monk, Rolling Stones, Lightning Hopkins, maybe Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
And
you're definitely into your blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always been attracted to jazz, but that's another story. Like how do you make a living as a jazz player? It's tough.
Play those funny notes, or whatever those funny things are here. Yeah. So, you had any other jobs throughout your life apart from?
Oh yeah. I worked in graveyards and city councils, laying sidewalks and trains. I give lessons too, which I've done throughout my life.
Are you still doing that, or?
Nah, I am. I mean, occasionally I do. Like a neighbor will ask me if I would teach their kid or something. But no, I'm more interested in pursuing my artistic vision.
Yes.
For the golden years.
Yeah, golden years. It's a David Bowie song. So your favourite band of all time, who would that be?
Wow, that's a real tough one. But I would, I presume the Stones would, was what got me into stuff. But I love so much stuff, you know.
So if you were stranded on a deserted island, right, you could only take one album with you, just one, what would that album be?
It'd probably be Electric Ladyland.
All right. Old Hendrix.
Yeah.
What's so special about that for you, Al?
Just that chemistry with that particular band.
Yeah.
All those elements, Mitch Mitchell and the psychedelic, all the guitar stuff, the effects, the layers.
It sounded like a 10-piece band, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
There's three guys.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So, what would your favourite TV show been growing up? Did you have one? Did you ever watch a show every night you couldn't wait to get home and see?
God. Probably the cartoons was my thing.
Yeah.
But I can't really pinpoint anything.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny. Do you have any unfulfilled ambitions? Is there anything that you'd like to do?
Oh yeah, I want to record more.
Yep.
I want to compose more, which you get into a frame of mind where you got stuff going. Are
you writing or?
Well, I got ideas, and I want to expand on that, and I also had dabbled with art stuff for a while, and it took me over for like 6 months. I was
painting
obsessed.
or
mixed media.
All right.
Yeah. Old pieces of wood, rock and metal, and painting, and
just make something out of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Creative. Do you collect anything? No?
Old drums.
Yeah. How many kits have you got? Can you fill
at least half a dozen.
Yeah.
Probably 20 snare drums, but which I'm trying to get out of the house now.
Yeah.
I mean, I did on my last recording of my own project. It took me 3 carloads to bring the drums I wanted to record with to the studio. I think I had 4 to 6 bass drums, a dozen snare drums, all sorts of stuff. So, but I left a video here for you to see that has some of that in it.
Is that something we're going to watch at the end? Yeah, great, fantastic. So where are you recording that stuff? In New York or?
Yeah, Albany, New York. Yeah,
Albany. Yeah, you say Albany, we say Albany.
Right.
Anyway, so what would you put on your gravestone?
That old famous quote: "Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think."
Certainly would. So, is there anything, anyone else you want to thank, or is there anything we don't know about Al Kash?
Have
you got the cash, really?
Have I what?
Got the cash.
Yeah, right. I was in a band called Hard Cash at one point. Yeah. Now my wife Janet and my daughter Emma, who's here with me.
Yep.
And obviously I'm staying at Kash Daniel Complex in Scarborough.
Kash Daniel. Can you get enough room to sleep in between all the bass amps and the basses? And
my daughter told me I woke up and heard some music coming through the pillow last night, and I was saying, well, is there music happening here? And it was Roy in the next room playing something. So
at 3 o'clock in the morning, probably?
Oh, yeah, 4, I think.
Yeah, 4. Nothing's changed. Look, Al, it's been really nice to have you here. It's great to see you come back to Perth. Are you catching up with any of the old crew? Or?
Yeah, I hope to. I think this Sunday there's something on at the Hilton Bolo Club. And,
right.
I want to catch up with the old band, the Diddy Wahoo Daddies.
Yeah.
Everyone that, I just...
You're going to get up and have a play? And
yeah, I hope so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Look, it's been really nice having you here.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome back to Perth, and thanks for coming in and sharing your stories with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Al Kash, one of the legends of Perth as a drummer, and we'll see you next episode. Thank you for joining us.
At ProCopy, we can transfer audio to CD, make CD, DVD and Blu-ray copies, transfer video to DVD, Blu-ray or HD, digitise slides and photos and supply custom USBs. You can see more details at procopy.com.au or call us on 08 9375 3902 for more information.